So a nice early tip-off for me today. I'm a de facto Knicks fan right now because, look, it's hard to hate this team. It is. I'm a Heat fan. My team are out. I'm supporting good basketball right now. I'm not I couldn't give a damn necessarily about any sort of rivalries. I like what this Knicks team are doing. I think that them being healthy is the only way Boston Celtics don't make the NBA Finals. And I hate this Celtics team. I really hate this Celtics team. Because I don't even think they play good basketball. They're just ultra stacked. They're ultra stacked. And I think the only team to have a chance against them was the Knicks. Knicks are in a bad spot. Knicks are in a really bad spot. That freaking Nembhard shot is one of the shots of the playoffs. And look, they're down 40 at the end of the third. They're down 40 at the end of the third. This game's over. I don't give a damn what happens in the fourth quarter. There's nothing that they can do. We've all fallen for the Lakers when they are getting blown out, coming back in the fourth and learning something by putting Hachimura on Jokic. We've all learned this. In these blowout games, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. And the scary thing is the Pacers didn't miss. The Pacers shot 60% from the field and 50% from three through 3 quarters. Obviously, these numbers might be thrown completely off in the fourth quarter, but I don't really care. I don't really care that much because this game is long over. It's been over since the first half. And the New York Knicks have 63 points. 63 points going into the fourth. They could end up with 80. They genuinely could. They could end up in the 80s. And they really are. They're down bad as far as just injuries are concerned. And obviously, that's the risk you get when you're playing your guys as much as the Knicks do. That's the Tom Thibodeau risk. Look, I think Tom Thibodeau is an unbelievable basketball coach. His record of success is it's there. He's good with whatever team. But there is the issue that he overruns his players. We saw what he did to the career of Luol Deng. Luol Deng's legs just stopped working young. We saw what happened to Noah. We saw what happened to Rose. There is a tendency that players that thrive with Tom Thibodeau, especially over multiple years, have a shorter career because he just overplays them. And there's obviously a give and take with that when you get him as a coach. It's when you have him as a coach, your team is going to be better than they would be. They're likely going to be better. They're going to have a defensive identity. They're going to be really, really good. But you are risking them being hurt. And half this Knicks team's hurt. Look, I think the Knicks might sweep the Pacers if Mitchell Robinson's playing, if OG Anunoby's playing. Even Hartenstein, didn't look particularly healthy. He went down. Josh Hart, playing 48 minutes a game. He's going to have to cool off a little bit. He had 3 rebounds today. Jalen Brunson had 18. But even if you're looking at Indiana, Haliburton is 20, and that's the highest scorer for the team. Everyone's just hitting shots. Everyone's chipping in. And the Knicks just looked exhausted. The shots weren't falling. They looked exhausted. Look, it looked like the Knicks gave everything they could to try go 3-0 up. And obviously, I think if the Knicks go 3-0 up, it's over. The series is over. But it did look like that Andrew Nembhard shot completely took everything out of New York. And it's going to be really interesting to see how they go back to the Garden. Because is the series over? No. It's not. I've learned too much that, don't overreact to specific scenarios. After the Dallas one, where I'm just look, Luka's not right. And Luka's still not right, but the rest of the Dallas team stepped up way better than I thought they would. So fair play to those. But when it comes to this, you always have to take into account other circumstances, and it's highly unlikely the Knicks win this series. And the Pacers are going to get murdered by Boston. And they're going to get murdered. The Pacers aren't a bad team. Don't get me wrong, the Pacers are actually a really good team. Tyrese Haliburton is class. Regardless of whether he's going to drop 30, whether he's going to drop 20, he's not a scorer. If everyone else is playing well. Man, Miles Turner. Imagine if the Lakers had gone for Miles Turner. Was it Miles Turner? Am I right in saying it was Miles Turner they could have got instead of Westbrook? Or maybe it was Turner and Buddy Hield or something, but they were looking for Turner for years. Had they got Turner, but to pair with AD? Those Lakers teams could have been nice, especially that could have been their perfect third player. But the Pacers are a real good team. I like the Pacers. They're not old team. They're not a particularly young team either. But they're a team that's their first time in the playoffs since the Oladipo era, I'm pretty sure. And they had a good showing. They had a great series against Milwaukee, who were crippled. And then they were losing against the Knicks, who were crippled. They faced 2 teams that are very badly injured going all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. But it's still a good run for them. But Boston are going to murder them. They're going to absolutely murder them. And Boston have had, like, Cleveland aren't terrible, but they've had a very easy run. Like, the way the Knicks are injuries-wise, the Sixers would have killed them. And I think the Sixers would also kill this Pacers team. And I really do wish the Knicks were healthy, because a healthy Knicks versus Boston, forget Julius Randle, like, they probably play better without him, but OG Anunoby healthy, Mitchell Robinson healthy, and the rest of their guys having some sort of rest. Them versus Boston, I still think Boston wins, but that's a really interesting series. Whereas now it's looking more and more likely that we get the Pacers versus Celtics. I'm not going to count the Knicks out because, like, look, they play with the heart of a champion. They do. And while none of these guys are champions at the NBA level, these guys all won in college. These guys were champions in college. These guys are winners. They may not have won at the NBA level, but they've experienced winning, and they've experienced winning together. The main core of these guys. So I'm not going to count them out, but it's looking very hard. It's very tough to see where they're going to get enough scoring from, where they're going to get enough just in general from to win 2 out of 3 games. It really is. And again, like, it's hard to come back from a loss like this, a 40-point absolute blowout. But the Knicks fans are going to be there. The Knicks fans might push them through. If any set of fans can bring their teams to a win and pull their team back, like we saw what Dallas did, their fans did against LA, and it'll be these Knicks fans in the Garden. So, yeah, don't quite count the Knicks out yet. They're very close. They're very, very, very close to being done. And even if they do go and lose this series 4-2, it's been a great playoff run. It's been a great run for that whole team. Been a great run for Jalen Brunson. Been a great run. It was just unfortunate with injuries. But when you've got Tom Thibodeau as your coach, it's likely that, like, it can happen. Like, some of the injuries, obviously not caused by fatigue, but when Tibbs is your coach, injuries are inevitable. They're inevitable. Players being overplayed and picking up nicks, just like picking up like niggles, wear and tear on the body over the course of a year makes them more prone to injuries. That happens. And it is a trade-off of having... If Tom Thibodeau was a bit better at rotating his players, or he was able to get the same success while rotating his players, he probably is looked at as one of the greatest coaches of the last 25 years. But that is just such a huge flaw in him. And it's the unfortunate consequence of all the good things that come with having Thibodeau as a coach. Unfortunately, that is one of the main negatives of the Knicks. While the Knicks are a lot of the reason they're in the position they're in right now, not a lot of reason, Thibodeau is a big factor in why they're in the position they're in right now as far as the positives. Also, the position they're in right now as of today is a lot caused by Tibbs. Them being a second seed in the conference and being in the conference semifinals and up in it, Tibbs is a big factor, but he's also a big factor in why they're 40 points down today and why their team's crippled and might end up losing this series. So that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.